The disciples sat under the Bodhi tree, their faces illuminated by the glow of their screens. Buddha observed them in silence, his eyes filled with deep understanding. You believe you are connected, yet your hearts remain distant, he said gently. Ananda looked up, curiosity flickering in his gaze. Master, we have access to knowledge, conversation, and endless connection, he said. Buddha nodded, his voice calm like the flowing river. A man in a desert may hold a map but still thirst, he said. The disciples listened, their devices momentarily forgotten in their laps. You touch many minds, yet your soul drifts unanchored, Buddha continued. Sariputta furrowed his brow. But, Master, these tools bring joy and wisdom, he said. Buddha picked up a handful of sand, letting it slip through his fingers. Does chasing the wind bring lasting happiness? He asked. The disciples shook their heads, pondering his words. In every moment spent chasing illusion, the present is lost, Buddha said. Maha Kassapa folded his hands. Should we abandon technology entirely, Master? He asked. Buddha smiled, his voice like a gentle breeze. A net is useful to catch fish, but when it ensnares the fisherman, it becomes a trap, he said. The disciples glanced at their devices, realizing their endless grip upon them. The key is not rejection but awareness, Buddha continued. Use your tools, but never let them master you, he said. The birds sang above, their melody untouched by distraction. Ananda placed his device aside and breathed deeply. When the mind is restless, peace remains out of reach, Buddha said. Sariputta sat in silence, reflecting on his dependency. I feel uneasy without my device, he admitted. Buddha pointed to the river. The river flows naturally without force, he said. In stillness, true presence emerges, he continued. Ananda closed his eyes, feeling the breath enter his lungs. Real connection is found in presence, not distraction, Buddha said. The disciples nodded, absorbing the wisdom like sunlight upon the earth. A gentle wind rustled the leaves. You do not need to escape this world, only awaken within it, Buddha said. The disciples looked at one another, truly seeing for the first time. Let your interactions be mindful, Buddha said. The sun dipped lower, casting golden light across the land. You hold the power to choose presence over illusion, he said. The disciples breathed deeply, embracing the wisdom of the moment. The devices remained untouched as they listened to the wind, and thus, they began their journey toward awakening. Another day, the disciples gathered beneath the Bodhi tree, their minds burdened by thoughts of balance. Buddha observed their concern, his presence as steady as the mountain. Ananda spoke first, his voice uncertain. Master, when I withdraw from the digital world, I feel lost. When I immerse myself, I feel consumed. Buddha picked up a lute resting beside a musician. He plucked its strings, and the sound was discordant. The disciples watched as he loosened the strings completely. The lute produced no tone, silent and lifeless. Then, he tightened them just right, playing a harmonious melody. In all things, balance, he said, his voice gentle. The disciples nodded, listening closely. To abandon completely is to lose the benefit. To indulge excessively is to lose the self. Maha Kassapa furrowed his brow, contemplating these words. But Master, how do we walk the middle path in this modern age? Buddha placed the lute aside, his gaze steady. Use your tools as the craftsman uses his chisel, with purpose and awareness. The disciples pondered this, glancing at their devices. Ananda hesitated before speaking. There is so much information, so many voices demanding attention. How can we remain present? Buddha lifted a cup and filled it with water. If you pour endlessly, the cup will overflow and become useless. The disciples nodded, understanding the lesson. Let your interactions be mindful, your consumption measured. and your presence unwavering. A cool breeze passed through the trees, carrying the scent of fresh earth. Sariputta closed his eyes, reflecting on his dependency. I check my device constantly, fearing I will miss something important. Buddha pointed to the river flowing beside them. The river moves forward naturally, never rushing, never halting. Maha Kassapa folded his hands. Does this mean we must limit ourselves strictly, Master? Buddha smiled, his expression calm. You must not reject nor indulge, but choose wisely. The disciples breathed deeply, absorbing the wisdom. Ananda placed his device aside and looked around. For the first time, he noticed the deep green of the leaves. You do not need to escape this world. Only awaken within it, Buddha said. The disciples exchanged glances, understanding more deeply. The middle path requires discipline, but brings harmony, he continued. A bird landed nearby, pecking at seeds on the ground. Let your thoughts be as steady as this bird. Focused, deliberate, never frantic. The disciples sat in silence, feeling the peace of the moment. You hold the power to shape your experience, Buddha said. The sun began its descent, casting golden light upon the world, and thus, they embraced the wisdom of balance. Walking the middle path. Another day, the disciples followed Buddha to the river's edge, seeking wisdom in the gentle flow of water. Buddha stood in silence, watching the current ripple beneath the golden light. You fill your lives with noise, but forget the gift of silence, he said. Ananda looked around, hearing the murmurs of the disciples, the rustling of leaves. Master, is silence truly necessary? He asked. Buddha dipped his hand into the river, feeling its steady movement. Amid the voices of the world, wisdom is found in quiet reflection, he said. Sariputta furrowed his brow, pondering the meaning. But Master, in our time, silence is rare. Even when alone, the mind remains restless, he said. Buddha lifted a stone and dropped it into the water. The ripples spread outward, breaking the surface in steady waves. The mind is like water. When disturbed, clarity is lost, he said. The disciples sat in quiet contemplation, hearing only the breath of the wind. To listen deeply, one must first quiet the mind, Buddha continued. Ananda watched the flowing river, feeling its rhythm. When noise dominates, presence fades, Buddha said, his voice calm. The sun lowered, casting long shadows across the earth. You seek understanding in endless words, but truth lives in silence, Buddha said. Sariputta bowed his head, absorbing the wisdom. Master, how do we embrace silence in a world filled with distractions? He asked. Buddha placed his hands together, closing his eyes. In stillness, thoughts settle. In quiet, the soul hears its own wisdom, he said. The disciples followed, closing their eyes, breathing deeply. The silence holds space for awareness. For true presence, Buddha continued. A bird landed nearby, pecking gently at scattered seeds. You do not need to reject sound. Only embrace quiet moments, Buddha said. The disciples let go of their thoughts, resting in the peace of the present. A gentle breeze passed over them, carrying the scent of earth and water. The world offers endless voices, but stillness is the key to balance, Buddha said. Ananda opened his eyes, feeling lighter, as though a burden had lifted. Master, I understand. Without silence, wisdom cannot grow, he said. Buddha smiled, watching his disciples embrace the lesson. You do not need to escape this world. Only awaken within it, he said. The disciples breathed deeply, absorbing the moment without distraction. The water continued flowing, unhindered, steady in its path, and thus, they embraced the wisdom of silence. Walking the path of presence, the disciples sat in silence, absorbing the lesson. A gentle breeze stirred the Bodhi leaves. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.